What's up, guys? Welcome back, Bear Down. And of course, we're struggling through this together. We really are. Tough one. But also, I want to point out, everyone's saying this too. It's not just me. There is so much good to take from this game. There's so much good moving forward with CalebWilliams, with play calling from Thomas Brown. Multiple things in this game are good. The defense is not good. The defense really let me down, let our fan base down. Matt Eberflus let us down. So I get it. I'm not going to focus on firing Eberflus on this video. This is my PFF grades video where I go over how the team looked, kind of compare it to what we saw on tape, how it interacted with each other, and we go from there. I did put out a video late last night that kind of went over immediate reaction after my voice came back a little bit. Drank some tea, got my voice back a little bit after that crazy game. Those who were with me on the watch party, really appreciate you guys. That was a lot of fun. Very emotional, good game. And then we just move forward. That 4-7 right there. I'll use this little pointer. The 4-7 right there. That's ugly. That's a black mark. We basically have to win out to make the playoffs. It's not going to happen. What we need to do from here is build the roster for the future, get the coaching changes made, get the players developed, find out which players we're going to keep, and then move forward. It's not about tanking for a draft pick because, guys, you can find a pick at 8. You can find a pick at 15. Look at where Jared Verse went and how he's the most dominant defensive and overall player from this draft so far. I mean, there's players to be had in different spots. So it's not about tanking. It's about building cohesion, building this team for the future, for next year, seeing what we have, and then making the right decisions from here on out, whether that's firing Ryan Poles, stepping up Ian Cunningham, finding a new GM, whoever the coaching search is. I think it's a foregone conclusion. This is my opinion at this point that Matt Eberflus is on borrowed time. He's basically gone. Barring a run-the-table 6 straight games win, he's out of here. There's no way he's retaining his job unless there's a complete turnaround and we make the playoffs somehow. So let's jump right into the grades for this game. First of all, I do want to point this out from yesterday. The big change with Thomas Brown on offense. We'll get into that a little bit more. This is from yesterday. Nick Rohde from Just Another Year pointed out some of the big differences from the last couple games. This is after the first game, and the Bears do look like a completely different offensive team since Thomas Brown has taken over the play calling duties. So here's our offensive studs of the game. For those who haven't watched all the series of this, I highlight those who are around 65 and above. That's where this PFF grade turns into a green grade from yellow, then down to orange and red and below is not good. So this roughly around 65 grade is who I highlight on the offensive studs. And of course, Tevin Jenkins, man, if he can stay healthy, yes, we re-sign him. If he can't, if he gets hurt one more time the rest of the season, we don't re-sign him. I think we can get him on a value contract because of how many injuries he's had. We'll do that on later videos. But Tevin Jenkins did look really good in this game. Darnell Wright looked a lot better. He has been struggling before Thomas Brown came over, basically. Before Thomas Brown became the OC, Darnell Wright was having some struggles. Did have some minor injuries as well. So there is some excuse there, but he looks like he's back. And that's good because we need that out of a top 10 draft pick. CalebWilliams looked really good for the second game in a row under Thomas Brown. DJ Moore looked good. Braxton Jones. Roschon Johnson for the most part. Coleman Shelton and Cole Kmet. So these are our offensive studs of the game. And then we move forward into the pass blocking to start. I always like to focus on the pass blocking, how we're protecting Caleb. And this is the game where it shuts everyone up, basically. Everyone who's been down on this line, really ragging on the offensive line, saying we didn't do enough. We've had a lot of influx. We haven't had consistency. We haven't had cohesion. Against the Vikings, this is very good. 7 pressures allowed, only 5 pressures allowed by the offensive line. You see those bottom 2 are by Roschon Johnson and DeAndre Swift. I know I'm kind of blocking that, but those are quarterback, halfback. I'm not too worried about that. What we're looking at up here is 2 by Matt Pryor, who's not a permanent solution. He was a backup to start the year. I'd love to re-sign him as a backup, but we need to bolster the position a little bit. 0 by Coleman Shelton, 0 by Darnell Wright, 0 by Cole Kmet, who's chipping in a lot. 1 by Tevin Jenkins, 2 by Braxton Jones, one of those being a sack. The other 2 sacks were on Caleb, so they don't count against the offensive line. But overall, 86 grade, 81, 80, 77, 75, 72, 71 by the offense. I mean, these are all really good grades by the offensive line on the pass blocking. So it looked a lot better in this game for our pass blocking. Here's the scheme, the pass blocking efficiency. I'm going to move me off just for a second to do this. Here's week 3. Look at week 3 this last week. Only 5 pressures credited to the offensive line, a 94.4 grade. Excuse me. Now, there are 6 teams on bye, and 2 that haven't played yet because they played tonight. But overall, out of the other 24 teams, we were 3rd ranked this week. That's huge. It brought us up from 22nd overall to 17th. We're back up to 84.8. It's where we haven't been in the last 3 years. We need this cohesion and consistency to continue. The Bears at 84.8 overall pass block efficiency. Low sacks allowed in this game. We no longer have allowed the most sacks. The Cowboys have now. So we're coming up. We're getting out of the gutter here. And we need to, this is accredited to the offensive line. Now, Caleb's taken the most sacks overall still, but some of those are on him. But the line has not allowed the most overall. This is only the top 20 as well. But 84.8 overall pass block efficiency grade. That's really good. That's improving. So we're not top half of the league yet, but they got to keep going forward. All right, one of the focuses we had was Caleb getting the ball out quick. This is from a couple weeks ago. Okay, so this is when Thomas Brown first talked when he took over. Look at this. The last couple weeks of Thomas Brown handling CalebWilliams. Will take me off again. So here's last week, week 11. Pressures turned into sack, 27.3. That's still too high. Caleb has to get rid of the ball. You saw it in overtime this last game too. This last week, 25% of the time pressures turn into sack. That's not great. He's still a rookie. And this is actually very in line with rookies with under-averaged lines. All right, the time to throw, though, look at that. This is 2 of his best weeks of the entire year. 2.77 last week, 2.57 this week. Overall NFL passer rating, 95.0, 103.1. His overall grades last week, really solid across the board grades. This week, still really solid. Last week, 23 out of 31, 74.2% completion, 231 yards, 2 big-time throws, 0 turnover-worthy plays, 77.4 adjusted completion percentage, and a 95 NFL passer rating. Those are all great stats. I mean, really, really good, above average, top of the league. Not top 10, but still right up there. This last week, 32 of 47, 68.1% completion, 340 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's not on here, but 2 touchdowns this week. 5 big-time throws, 3 turnover-worthy plays. So they need to cut down on that a little bit, but he's trying to force the ball in as we were driving down the end of the game. These are acceptable in the situation we were running. 77.8 adjusted completion percentage. This is top 10, top 5 in the league the last couple weeks, this adjusted completion percentage, which I tell you guys all the time is one of the most important things for a quarterback, and then a 103.1 NFL passer rating this last week as well. So to me, things are coming along really well for Caleb. We go into the run blocking. This was a little more suspect, but against the Vikings, it's understandable. This isn't terrible, but Darnell Wright, look at him, our top 10 draft pick from last year. Darnell Wright, 84.3 grade. Pancaking some guys. Really good game by him. Tevin Jenkins right up there as well. You get down to Coleman Shelton, not quite as top of the top, but keep in mind this was against the Vikings. Tough team to go against. Braxton Jones, 57.3, 54.8 from Matt Pryor. Mercedes Lewis, really a waste of space this year on the team. I'm not too happy the fact that we cut Brennan Bates and kept him. And then the last thing I do is our offensive duds. So for this game, there were really only 2 on offense that really didn't cut the mustard, and that would be DeAndre Swift and Mercedes Lewis. But let's just move past this because overall, offensively, it was a really, really good game. Get to our defensive guys, defensive studs of the game. You got Kyler Gordon, Gervon Dexter, Jack Sanborn, DeMarcus Walker, Byron Cowart, Jonathan Owens, and Terrell Smith. All grades above 65. Kyler Gordon with an excellent game. Gervon Dexter, excellent game. Overall defensive grades, these guys had really good games. And I'm still going to attest that Jack Sanborn needs to get a few more reps at middle linebacker. And I think Tremaine Edmonds, with his length, probably could switch out, be in more coverage, be a weak side linebacker a little bit more. That's for them to handle, but I think right now they're kind of being underutilized a little bit. Tremaine Edmonds in coverage has not been great this year. He did have one big play this game that was really good, but not looking the best so far. Let me bring me off. Here's the run defense. A couple of these guys. Jonathan Owens obviously not in on as many plays for the run defense, but when he did, 97.2. DeMarcus Walker, 86.8. Gervon Dexter, 84.3. These guys really made the difference to holding Aaron Jones down. He had 107 yards, but we did create a forced fumble on him. DeMarcus Walker, a huge part of that. Jonathan Owens, the other part of that. So these 2 top guys, they clearly got some positive grade out of that. They caused DeMarcus Walker held his leg. Jonathan Owens came in and absolutely just ripped the ball out of his hands. I mean, just tore it out for those who didn't see it. Great job by them. Gervon Dexter was in the most plays. He was really in there a lot. Kyler Gordon in a lot as well. So overall, the run defense did a good job, especially with that strip sack or the strip fumble and what they did on the goal line there to preserve them from getting 7 points. The pass rush was really the negative point for me in this game. The grades don't look as terrible as it looked on film. We didn't generate enough pressure. And when you're looking over here, this pressure, we need more guys to have higher numbers here. When you got TJ Edwards, who's only pass rushing 3 times, Jack Sanborn, now that's a different excuse me, that's a different position. You're more blitzing when you're coming from your linebackers. But then you got your guys, Jervon Dexter, who's got 5 pressures, which is really good. You see an 8.1 and a 12.9. That's acceptable. Jacob Martin only got 15 reps, but really good by him as well. DeMarcus Walker, really good. But then you got Darrell Taylor taking 15 reps. Chris Williams taking 9 reps. Zach Pickens taking 12 reps. These 3 guys, and Austin Booker taking 6 reps. Those 18, 27, 42 reps out of those guys generated literally nothing. They did absolutely nothing on their pressure. And that you can't have that with the Tampa 2 defense. That's something we're talking about in forums a lot. People are asking, well, why isn't the Tampa 2 working right now? Unless you have 4 really staunch guys who get pressure, the Tampa 2 is meant, that zone coverage is meant to get tip balls, interceptions, be able to create surprise. You've got to get pressure on the quarterback to get him throwing a little bit errant, getting pushing the ball out too fast. When you leave it open that long and he's got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds back there to pass, he can just wait for someone to get open in his zone coverage, hit that guy. And you saw that last night in the game. You saw it constantly over and over again, especially that last drive in overtime. He had all time back there. And now at the end of the game, we were getting more pressure. The second half, we got more pressure. End of the game, we got more pressure. But when a couple plays here and there, if you're not getting pressure on every play, guys, go look at Dexter Lawrence. I had to fact check myself for Dexter Lawrence, and go look at even Jared Verse. Absolutely blowing guys over. You need that in this defense to generate that pressure to create the mistakes by the offense. And we just didn't do it. And the second half of the game in overtime, fourth quarter and overtime, they basically just ran it down our throat. Sam Darnold looked like the best quarterback ever. He was like, I think it was like 13 for 15. Don't fact check me on this one. I'm just going off memory here. For 140-something yards and zero mistakes by him because we weren't generating pressure, and that's the big difference there. So our pass rush didn't look good. The other thing that didn't look great, the defensive coverage. Kyler Gordon was really good in this game. He had 2 pass breakups. Jack Sanborn had a pass breakup. Tremaine Edmonds had a pass breakup and a dropped interception. Other than that, 0 interceptions again, and that's not acceptable. And that comes from both the last screen, the pass rush, and from the secondary. In the secondary, I gotta take off just a second here. Jalen Johnson and Tyreek Stevenson and Kevin Byard all being the bottom of this with this low of grades. Look at this, 2 for 3 receptions, 3 for 3, 5 for 5, 4 for 4. When these guys are giving up that much in coverage, look at these grades against them. 58.3, not terrible by Tyreek Stevenson, but he only had 2 attempts at him. So better by him. He's clearly covering his guy a lot better. But then Kevin Byard, 115.6. TJ Edwards, 118.8. And we saw it. I mentioned several times TJ Edwards was out of position, not close enough, not covering the gaps enough. And it looked bad. 133 yards against him. So Jonathan Owens, 158.3. Jalen Johnson, 131.9. And several penalties against him as well. It wasn't the best game for the secondary, for the coverage. Coverage grades were a weakness in this game. So move right past that. Here's our defensive duds. And when you've got these guys down in the duds, Jalen Johnson and Tyreek Stevenson down in your duds, doesn't look great. Chris Williams. Now let me go back here. Look how there's only 25 total by Tyreek Stevenson. When you look here, Terrell Smith got 28. 16 coverage. Terrell Smith got more reps like I wanted, but still Terrell Smith not the best game either. Better tackling though, that's why his grade's a little bit higher. So the secondary clearly out of position. Austin Booker, Darrell Taylor, Chris Williams, those guys, we can't have these defensive duds. Special team, I'm going to give them a D grade. The only reason they're not an F is because DeAndre Carter at the end of the game had that huge return for 60 yards that put us within range to be able to have the amazing comeback we did. Cairo Santos did hit a couple clutch field goals, so I give him a D. Other than that, when you have another block in 2 consecutive games, when you've got a second blocked field goal and you have a muffed, you see right there, that's DeAndre Carter having the ball hit him on the leg after he's saying poison, get away, and then he doesn't get away. That's a big red mark to me. That should be an F grade. They're lucky enough to get a D though, on my opinion. All right, so Here's what I do all the time now with Caleb showing his passing progression. Here's week 12. I think there should have been another completion here that's considered a non-completion because Keenan Allen got screwed on the call by the refs. There should have been another one deep to Rome Odunze from that was probably actually in this zone here from DJ Moore that they didn't call the pass interference on. Other than that, I mean, look at Caleb's. That was actually so that wouldn't be on this one at all. That was from DJ Moore's spray chart. Depth chart. This is over 20 yards, 10 to 20 yards, 0 to 10 yards, and behind the line of scrimmage. This is as it should be. You should be hitting every one of those. So 10 for 10 here, really good. Here, 11 for 16 plus 16 for 20. 16 for 22 is really good. I mean, that's where you should be here. And this isn't bad here. 4 for 8. Should be a little bit better, maybe 5 for 8, 6 for 8 as you're getting past 10 yards. And then here, you're going to have 1/3 to a half percentage completion here. So not terrible, but when you take into context the calls that were, there was a couple bad throws by Caleb. I mean, there really were a couple that were errant, little overthrows, especially to Rome Odunze. They didn't see him in connection. They didn't see him completely in sync. He was overthrowing him. Similar to what you'd see Jordan Love overthrow his receivers, just not accurate. And I think it was just kind of nerves by Caleb, wanting to win so bad, trying to will the team to a win and not being completely in sync. Just a couple plays as a rookie where he can bring those down. But overall, very happy I am with Caleb overall. And his 2024 season is showing it's coming down. All these numbers are improving. Every single one of them is improving. Every single one. That'll happen when the last couple weeks he's got 75 plus adjusted completion percentage and getting better and better every week. So I'm happy with Caleb. I really am. People that don't think he is the best quarterback in this draft are not watching tape, are not watching how he handles himself at the line of scrimmage, are not watching the special plays he makes. He really is the best quarterback. Should we have traded down for a haul and got another good quarterback in this draft? It's neither here nor there now. So a lot of people are still bringing up that argument, but it is neither here nor there because it's in the past. Caleb long-term will be finally a franchise quarterback for the Bears, so I'm happy we took that route. I would have liked more draft capital, though, and there's other ways that Ryan Poles could have avoided giving up so much draft capital. Chase Claypool, some of these other mistakes that he's made with the draft, we could have done other things as well. So neither here nor there. Caleb's the quarterback, and I'm happy with the progression he's making. So here's our quarterback record tracker. As we know, this last game here was the rookie record, 21-93. He blew past it, ended the game for the season now at 23-56. He's on pace for 36-41. If he keeps up what he's doing since Thomas Brown has become the offensive coordinator, he's going to blow past 4,000. We're going to have our first 4,000-yard quarterback. So right now he's on pace for 36-41. Bears' record is 38-38, so he's right on pace there. 2 more touchdowns in the season here, so he's tied the rookie record. Nobody's talking about that for a rookie quarterback for the Bears. 11 touchdowns is the rookie record. He's got 11 now. He's tied that. He's on pace for 17. Obviously, we played 11 games, has 11 touchdowns. 17 games, is on pace for 17. The Bears record is 29, so we want to see him break that, but the rookie record's 11, so he's already tied it. And then a Bears record for completion percentage, 67%. It's going to be hard with the rough patch he went through to catch that, but he is coming up. After last game, he was at 61.5. Now he's 62.5 because he's continuing to improve. If he has some big games where he has good completion percentage the rest of the season, he could catch the 67%, but it's going to be kind of hard on that one. As we look at the receivers, here's our receivers where they're on pace for now. And like I said, if he continues to have games like he has with Thomas Brown, these guys are all going to continue to go up. None of them on pace for 1,000 yards, but DJ Moore now on pace for 875, Keenan Allen on pace for 613, Rome Odunze on pace for 801, and Cole Kmet on pace for 652. These guys 422 now, 518 now, 368 now, and 566. Obviously, Keenan Allen with 2 less games than the rest of them because of the injuries that he was sitting out from. All right, here's where we move from here, and then we'll be done with the grading video for now. We've played the Packers, played the Vikings. Now we head to the Thanksgiving game against the Lions. That's this Thursday, so we are on a short week. And then we have the Niners the Sunday after that, so we'll have a mini bye. We'll have 10 days until that game, so that'll be nice. And then we have 8 games until the Monday Night Football against the Vikings again, where we get the rematch. We have to go there, so it will be tougher to play in U.S. Bank Stadium. And then we get the Lions at home after that, and then the Seahawks at home after that for Thursday Night Football. So that will be a 3-game stretch in 10 games. So Monday Night Football, Sunday Football, Thursday football. That's only 10 days in between all of that football being played. So that will be a true test, rough stretch, and then we finish the season with the Packers on Week 18. There is your Bears Vikings PFF grades, how the Bears did, how I analyzed them for the week. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for being a part of the channel. If you haven't hit subscribe, please do so. I try to bring you guys some quality content. We do some watch parties. We do some other stuff. I try to give you as much as I can on my insights and takes. And I do appreciate the Bears fan base and you guys being a part of this. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this game, about the grades. If anything surprised you or shocked you, let me know your thoughts on the offensive line because they clearly are playing more in tune. We've got the 5 best starters in there now. Nate Davis is cut. The cancer is out. It looks really good in my opinion. And if they did that well against the Vikings, this week's a huge test, obviously, against the Lions, but I don't think they'll have as good a game they had against the Vikings, but if they can play half that well, it gives us a shot to at least be in the game. I'm not going to be delusional and say we're going to win that game, but it gives us a shot to be in the game, and I want to see how they prepare on a short week for a tough game against the Lions in Detroit. It's going to be a lot of fun. So with that, appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. The Bears and bear down.